Internet. So, as you may or may not be able to tell based on my general essence as a human, I'm not a doctor, and neither is my mom, although she can do anything because she's amazing, because she's my mom. That being said, despite what I like to think about myself, my word is not golden. Everything you're about to hear is based on personal experiences from the past, and if having ADHD has taught me anything, it's that everyone's brains work differently. So please make sure to always check in with your doctor. Also, always check in with the doctor, because he's really cool. Okay, but the word vomiting that is about to ensue should be helpful in some way to you, I hope. But I guess there's only one way to find out. Nailed it! Boom! Woo! So long. This one is from Catherine Williams, and it says, how can I best help my 6-year-old with school? We both have ADHD and the school is not working very well with me. A different school is not an option, and the next step is homeschooling her. Please help. Thank you so much. As always, we love you. Oh, I love you too. And there's a question right after that that says, how do you handle an elementary school teacher who seems to not subscribe to the whole ADHD thing?
The best thing you can do for your children is you have to advocate for them early on. And if the school isn't supportive, I'm not sure where you are writing from, but in most parts of this country, the school systems are required to provide the right tools necessary for any child and any disability they have. And I think as
difference instead of disability. That's what they started calling it when I was in college, was a learning difference.
Learning difference, okay. That makes sense. I always went into school from first grade on to sit down with the primary teacher, if there was a counselor, to let them know, that this was a joint effort, that she wasn't in school for 6 hours a day and I didn't care. We needed to be on the same page, coming up with little signals for when Jen was younger as to how the teacher could communicate with her when she was getting a little too rambunctious, and the teacher would just use one word. So it didn't call Jen out in front of the whole class, but it was one word that Jen knew meant she needed to calm down.
I think if the teacher's being uncooperative too, I think one of the things that you really have to do is just keep pushing. Because it sounds like both of these parents have been trying, and the academic people, even to the point of trying to switch which class they're in if you have to, which is kind of even a last minute sort of, I mean, not a last minute, a last ditch effort, but even if you have to wait till the next school year, look at all the teachers and figure out which ones seem to have a better record with kids who need help. And one of them is a school issue, but I think it's just about advocating.
It's about advocating, and as hard as it may be, as an individual, I was not one of those who would go into these situations with a ton of confidence, but I also knew if I didn't go in and advocate for Jen, no one else would, and she'd just get lost in the system. So that gave me the courage that I needed at the times to sometimes say, wait a minute, I need a little more here, or this isn't working. What can we do to make it better?
And as I got older, I think I slowly started learning from my mom how to advocate for myself. So once I hit high school, she started giving me more of the tasks to talk to my teachers about things, and I had to put the effort in to get the extra time on my tests and things like that.
And as children age, it's important that they do that, because as much as you want to be their advocate, they need to learn this is going to be a lifelong learning experience for them, so they need to learn the coping skills, and there are certain situations that may make them uncomfortable. You just encourage them, say, just today you need to do this, just get through this one thing today. You do that, you're going to feel better about it.
And I know your kids are very young still, but going into college it was a lot easier for me to identify and deal with what I needed and to tell people what I needed. And just saying, I need this to be a better student is really important.
And like I say, if you're not getting anywhere with the teacher, find the decision makers. Go to the assistant principal, the guidance counselors.
Bringing the literature to the teachers too, I think, is important. And one of the 2 questions was about not subscribing to the whole ADHD thing, and I think that one is a tougher one to deal with because it's hard.
That is tougher, and I often wonder if maybe that's a far more old school teacher, which I find would be, because I think to the younger teachers that are out there today,
are well versed in it.
It's part of the curriculum that they learn when they're going for their education degrees.
One of the moms said that she has ADHD too, which makes it more difficult, but I think it actually might make it easier.
I think that also, but I also think that you know how your student's feeling, and particularly if you were diagnosed with it early on.
The main thing to do is to not say, oh, well, I did fine with this, so they will, because you have to understand that it's different with the kids. Like, I know one parent in particular whose son has ADHD, and they also have ADHD, and they say, well, it worked for me, so why isn't it working for him? Even though they are, it's the same thing, it's not, and everyone with ADHD is different, and every person in general is different. What worked for the parent may not necessarily work for the child. One of the things that's kind of you have to keep in mind is that even though you both have ADHD, it doesn't necessarily mean that you have the same issues.
Right.
I really have to change the alarm sound.
That it doesn't manifest itself the same way in you as it does in your child.
Yeah.
I think that's probably the best
Especially
way.
moms with ADHD with sons with ADHD. Not to encourage gender binary, but women and men, boys and girls tend to present differently. I actually presented and still present more with the male version of ADHD than the female version of ADHD, but that's just a random fact. Okay, cool, next. Wow, that was super funny, or interesting, or insightful, or wow, me and mom, thank you for sharing that information. So I noticed that none of these Q&A sessions seem to have endpoints in when we're answering questions. So here's our endpoint. That's it for this video. Thank you for watching. Please hit that like button if you liked it. Hit that subscribe button if you really liked it. The rest of this month is going to be a lot of Q&A videos as much as possible. So yay! Just a guided tour around this end slate too. We've got last video, next video, and the playlist with all the videos in it. Also all of my social media. Cute little Santa hats on it. And Elsa! So that's cool. Thank you for watching again. I love you guys, and I'll see you next time. Bye! Yes, this is the same for every video. Maybe I'll change it eventually.